Hey guys, thanks for tuning in for part 2 of Book of Boba. Make sure you like and subscribe and just keep following us because next year we're going to have a lot more content, a lot more giveaways. We're going to be pumping out so much stuff that we're going to make action figure grade look like a Padawan. So thanks for following and enjoy. I have a little off piece that, it's not a figure or anything like that, but it's like an offer coupon. It's a Palatoy offer coupon. That these things are really rare. I know they came in like magazines, and this was not one that was ripped out of a magazine that people try and sell as the real thing. Like, this is the actual real coupon here that was in the stores where you mail it away and stuff. I've been meaning to get graded, and I always forget.
Christopher, this is what you were talking about, the marketing genius, because the movie was not going to be out for several months. And then they're putting stuff like this in magazines and stores. And look at the front of that. He looks freaking amazing. Like, you immediately want to know more about this figure, this character. I'm sure there was tons of hype.
Yeah, it literally tells you like every body part on him. It names exactly each piece of his armor and everything like that. It's like, and this was, the offer closes in 1980. So this was probably right when the movie came out, because this was June 1980. That's when the offer closed. But, again, this was a nice little Palatoy piece that you don't see every day. And, you really just don't get a lot of them.
I wonder if that's another prototype that they took a picture of, because there's some differences there. I noticed some differences from the figure that went to production and that photo right there.
The only thing I know about this particular one is that I know it was in a magazine and people ripped them out of the magazine, and then I think they had like real carded ones, which is what this one is. And there's no folds or creases or anything on this at all. And I paid a lot of money for this thing. Like, if my wife ever found out the price I paid for a piece of paper, she's gonna think that I'm absolutely nuts. But
all right, well, we're gonna post this in the groups and tag her. Well, you didn't reveal, so I guess you're safe.
Yeah, I think that's an M16257939er double 4-aught.
Did you say niner?
Yeah, I did.
So I'll be on the opposite side of that. For me, that's worth about $5. Like, it's totally worthless. I could care less that was a clipper in some magazine in the UK that was only available on Sundays in the afternoon when it was raining.
Oh my God, Charles, you have got to be the most negative Nancy person. How am I related to you? My God.
Negative Nancy. Negative Nancy the sourpuss.
Oh man.
All right, well, we're on the back half stretch of this episode here about Boba Fett. Let's see, tell us what other good stuff you have, but let's see some modern stuff as well, and we can share that, and if we have any other thoughts.
Yeah, Brandon has some modern stuff too. I think Chris does too. But oh yeah, here's a modern.
Here's this is the modern prototype Fett. I guess this is what Fett was really supposed to look like at first when they were first designing him. I believe he was all white, and this came out not too long ago. What year is this? This is 2011. But again, this is an awesome piece. Wanted to have it. Got graded U90.
So, have you watched that show on Disney Plus yet about the making of Boba Fett?
400 times.
Yeah.
I never knew what the prototype armor was until I watched that show, because I had it in the Black Series, and for any Black Series collectors out there, there's a variant where there's gold letters stamped inside of his thigh. I don't know what, it's a production number, but that's kind of a sought after one. So I had two of them, one with the stamp and one without, but I never knew where that prototype armor existed. But the show on Disney Plus, the new show, kind of spells that out about the design process.
What do you got,
actually two people who wore that prototype armor. The guy in the show, and then the guy that played Bosk in the movie actually wore the prototype armor as well.
I think his name's
for
like
fitting purposes. What's that?
Was his name like Alan Harris? I think it was something like that.
Yeah, the guy that played Bosk, he's dead now. But fun fact, it's actually his face that they used for the Han and Carbonite. It wasn't Harrison Ford's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's super odd. I mean, I guess nobody has really cared over these years, but that's kind of odd to not make it his face.
And he's a Bespin guard. So he's a Bespin guard that they show with Boba Fett walking through with the Han and Carbonite, and Charles is loving this right now. I love it.
I'm just laughing because you just told us a fact, and Shane's like, oh my God, no one has cared for 40 years until right now.
Well, no, I'm saying nobody was bothered by the fact that it wasn't Harrison Ford's face, but that's really strange that they wouldn't have made sure to do that. But I guess they didn't care enough, and nobody's. I mean, I've never heard that before. So
I mean, that's how good they were with the movies, where they were able to use one person to fill multiple roles. Like Jeremy Bulloch was also one of the characters that was holding on to Princess Leia on Cloud City. So not only was he behind the mask, but he was also an Imperial officer as well. Same couple of scenes. Same thing with Alan Harris. He was Bosk, and he was one of the Bespin security guards, and his face was used for the Han Solo mold for the Han and Carbonite when they were walking through.
And that makes me think of Dickie Beers that we met at the con at the ICCC in April. He was a stuntman on Return of the Jedi, and he played Boba Fett as a stuntman. Yep. That's him in the picture there that Brandon's got.
Yep, this is like I showed you before, the C2 photo, Jeremy Bulloch. It's either Dickie Beer, or there was another guy on set that was flying through the air.
Yeah, there was another stuntman that did the jumps too. Yeah,
so either one.
Dickie Beer did the actual leap into the side, the stunt into the side of the sail barge and then down into the Sarlacc pit. And he was telling the story how he had to fit through a pretty small hole in the stunt. And there was other stunt guys that were kind of scared to do it because you had to do it perfectly. Otherwise, you were going to hit the side from a pretty far drop. But he also played a rebel commando in the Endor scenes. He also played Barada on the skiff. So he was a stuntman for the Boba Fett fall into the Sarlacc pit, but he was also the only Barada. So he was multiple characters.
You're also
kind of cool.
You're actually missing one important one, Shane.
Go ahead.
So when Fett was flying and he hit into the side of the skiff, that was actually played by Pruneface, the character of Pruneface.
Oh my God. Chris, one person cares about Pruneface. It's you. No one else cares about it.
We have a train derailing sound effect that you can add in here.
Yeah. He didn't even speak. He didn't even speak in the entire movie.
We're going to have one episode dedicated to Pruneface. And
you're going to be the only one on it.
Our viewership is going to go rocketing, like Boba Fett's rocket.
Well, you'll be proud to know that my daughter and I had a conversation about Pruneface just like 3 days ago, and I had to pull the photos up of the scene and show her who he was. She's like, yeah, he's a bad guy. I'm like, no, he's not. The guys and I go through this every week. I'm like, yeah, he's a good guy. He was in, when they planned the attack of the Death Star. She's like, no, he's a bounty hunter and he's a bad guy. And I'm like, no, let me show you.
I love everything. I love it.
Ari Marco, I had to show her. All right, who else has got something to show?
Brandon, I think.
Yep, modern Power of the Force 2, Boba Fett, signed. Nothing special about the figure.
This was the Boba Fett mail away when they finally released the real Boba Fett with the rocket firing rocket. This was a mail away, I think, in 2011. This was the version that the kids waited 40 years for. It's becoming popular. The price has been going up a lot in this one. So this is definitely one that I recommend everyone getting and having. Personally, I think it's awesome.
And that got a 60, is that what it says?
No, this got graded upside down 90. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That was a mail away, right? With a box and everything.
Yeah, that was a mail away. It came in a white box. Some people have it graded with the white box, next to it. Some people have it graded in the white box, and some people have it graded just like that, which is what I have also. But
I have this this rare Boba Fett. I guess it could be a chalice, or it could be a candy dish. And what makes this one rare is it has the Marilyn Monroe birthmark right here. I don't know if you can see that. But it's put out by Star Wars Gallery. It is in super fine condition. No chips or anything.
John, do you have any vintage Boba Fett items?
Oh, no. Yeah, just some figures. I don't have any carded figures. I mean, I wish I did, but
I think he sold that Boba Fett on one of his live sales, actually.
This one?
Yeah. The same as
Did you?
I like to sell drinkware and plates and bowls.
With the Marilyn Monroe beauty mark? I don't understand that at all.
No, I'm unfamiliar. I'm feeling jealous that I don't have anything to show. I'm going to show one vintage item just because I do get a lot of comments on it. It's the backdrop for several of my live sales, most of my live sales since I got it. It's something I will not sell. I love it. I get offers for it all the time. It is a large corkboard. Return of the Jedi. It's not in perfect condition. It's got, some blemishes on it, but it's in pretty nice shape. My focus character Leia's on there, which is why I love it too. But the Boba Fett is front and center on this. So it's a really large corkboard. A lot of the corkboards are kind of more like a sheet of paper size, like 8 by 11, 8.5 by 11, something like that. This is a really nice large one. It was used. I enjoy that. I enjoy the fact that somebody had this, probably in their room and used it as a kid, but a really cool backdrop. And I get a lot of comments on that. So that's a fun one from 83 to have.
Yeah.
So just to go with the trend, I wouldn't pay more than $5 for that.
I've been offered like upwards of 300 for that, and I won't sell it because it's so hard to find. I've never. I hate to say I've never seen another one, but it's the truth. I've never seen another one. They're out there. Obviously, it was mass produced, but they're not easy to find.
If I ever saw that on the shelf, I would leave it on the shelf and leave the store.
I do have a vintage Boba Fett story though. I sold a graded, I think it was an 80 graded. Can't remember if it was Return of the Jedi or Empire Strikes Back mock last year for $1,200.
Oh my God.
I know. This was last year before I even joined the Imperial Commissary.
You know why? It's because you didn't watch the trailer. If you had watched the trailer, you would have known what's coming. You would have known how awesome it's going to be, and you would have held on to that.
Yeah, but I mean, that was the highest bid that it got on eBay. So, I mean, I made money on it, but I didn't,
just talking about Boba Fett and his prices, obviously, we've known in the last year his prices have doubled and tripled up in value than what they were. His prices were always more money just because he was a more popular character. But his prices over the last year have just been like absolutely ridiculous.
It is insane. You cannot find a mock for less than $2,500.
Yeah, no, not anymore. And now the question is that when the new TV show does come out, do you see this going up a lot more, or do you see it tanking like my brother's doing in the background now?
I think it's going to spike. I mean, I really do think it's going to spike. Whether it maintains that momentum once it spikes, I don't know. It's hard to say.
I actually think it's going to go up also.
I think it's going to go up myself, but the only thing I get worried about is that everyone is waiting for the show to come out, and everyone has an arsenal of stuff to release for sale when it does come out. So will the market be flooded with a bunch of stuff, which would cause the price to, stagnate and maybe not go up? So do I think it's going to go up? Absolutely. I think it's going to go up more over time. When someone's releasing, 100 different Taiwan FETs, and if they get, $150 a piece, I don't see him getting that same price when there's going to be so many on the open market.
I think a lot of people are collecting them now too, though, and I think they're going to hold on to them when the show comes out. I think they're going to, how collectors are, even if they have, 20 of something, they start falling in love with the fact that they have 20 and they want, they want to keep it, they want to add more. So I think you're going to get a mixed bag. I think there's people that are thinking about it now, like, oh, I'm going to buy a bunch because they're going to go up in value, but then they're going to hold them. So
if we start talking about autographs, I have a Jeremy Bulloch autograph. This is a Power of the Force 2 card it's a toy expo. So it's a picture of himself actually with his autograph on it. And, I was never into autographs ever, actually. I'm not one of those guys that like autographs, but for whatever reason, I ended up getting a bunch of Jeremy Bulloch's autographs on Boba Fett cards recently on modern stuff. So I've been into this stuff. What do you got there, John?
I have a Jeremy Bulloch autograph on a Funko Pop, the only Funko Pop that I own. For some reason, I don't know. I wanted it, I guess. I don't know. But it is Jeremy Bulloch's autograph there.
Yeah, he ain't signing any more of those, so.
Do what?
He ain't signing any more of those.
That's true. I also have a foam baseball signed by John Smoltz.
What the hell just happened
wrong
here?
Show.
Does that count?
Wrong show, John.
Oh, okay, wrong show.
Just because you look like John Smoltz doesn't mean you could start signing things, okay?
John is still reliving the early 90s when the Braves were a good team.
Yeah, he thinks it's 1995.
Series. They did win the World, just because you're a Yankees fan. And also, look, my team, Kennesaw State, got put out yesterday in the FCS, so I'm a little bit disappointed about that. Georgia lost to Alabama, and Kennesaw State lost yesterday too. So I'm showing my John Smoltz baseball.
Charles, you don't have anything Boba Fett to show us? Mr. Negativity over there?
No, I do. It's all packed away in the closet.
Can you
right. We'll wait.
Can you show us a picture of this closet so we can at least show it in the clip of what this thing looks like?
There's more videos of the women in Hong Kong making figures than there are of Charles' closet. He's been in the closet for as long as I've known him, and we've never seen that closet.
I have another John Smoltz program signed right here.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
John, wrong show. We do the baseball show on Saturdays.
Hey, Christopher, do you have any Superfly Jimmy Snuka signed things you could show us, or any other sports characters you like?
I have a Hacksaw Jim Duggan proof card here. It comes with the 2x4 graded on the side. I have so much Boba Fett stuff, especially modern stuff, and I'm not really, I'm not a Boba Fett focused collector, but I ended up accumulating so much of this stuff, and I just can't get rid of it. I love him as a character, but I never really considered myself a focus collector. But now I'm looking down and I have 50 items in front of me, and I'm wondering how the hell did I get all this stuff?
You're investing in it. I'm not a focus collector on Boba either, and it's just, I don't know. You end up with a bunch of it, and they're actually kind of cool items if you think about it.
Yeah, he just opens his drawer and it just
2012, 2013 Atlanta Falcons.
John, did you take your medication today?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you take your medication today?
I guess I forgot.
Here's another item that is totally not up my alley. This is more up Brandon's alley. He collects this stuff. I never even knew he did until I talked to him one day about this. But I was offered like this. Like, I'm not into like artwork and autograph pictures, and I'm not into this stuff. But when I was presented with this piece, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll buy it. How much is it? And it was a couple of years ago, and you know what? I'm glad I did, because this thing is awesome. I haven't hung it up yet. It's been sitting on the floor for 2 years, but I'm probably going to be hanging it up shortly.
Shane's pants just got about 3 times too small.
Why? Because it's a photograph? Because it's something in a frame?
It's art.
Yeah, well,
Brandon's the one that's into that stuff. He actually knows a lot of stuff like that.
Guys, on the topic of the character Boba Fett, we've seen in recent years a few of the newer movies or series that have brought some characters back. I'm probably not thinking of all of them, but even just something like Rogue One. I think Rogue One was just fantastic for the world, the universe of Star Wars, because it spoke to all of the fans our age and brought us back to the original movies. But when we saw Darth Vader in Rogue One, right, towards the end when he battles coming down the hallway, it showed us a whole new Darth Vader. Right now, we did see Darth Vader towards the end of the prequel trilogy, in a more modern way, but seeing that old school Darth Vader, really wield the saber and everything, everybody went nuts. So seeing Boba Fett in The Mandalorian kind of gave us a chance to see Boba in a more expanded way. So that's kind of what I'm hanging my hat on, is the notion that we're going to get to really know the character, that they're going to do a good job story writing and expand on everything Boba Fett.
Not to like change the subject at all, but I feel like how they pumped up Boba Fett and like the marketing genius behind that was kind of what they did with Darth Maul and in the Star Wars that came out in episodes 1, 2, and 3. They kind of did the same thing with Darth Maul.
They did, and he didn't have a ton of screen time or a ton of lines either. I mean, he was a cool looking figure. He was mysterious for the first half of episode 1. And he had an amazing battle scene. I'm not a Darth Maul guy at all. Like, I don't really associate, like, I don't really cling to any of the characters in that prequel. I don't hate it. I'm not one of those guys either, but I just take it for new Star Wars when it came out. But there's people that are just nuts over Darth Maul, right? I mean, to the level that a lot of people are for Boba Fett.
Yeah, the guy who plays Darth Maul, I think his name is Ray Park.
Yeah, Ray Park.
It's Ray Park, yeah. Mm-hmm. He was just actually at, I think, Dallas Vintage Toys not too long ago, doing a signing there, and like they show the crowd and the people, and they go absolutely nuts. They go nuts when it's there.
You bring up an interesting point, Chris. The same thing. I think the marketing. You guys are right about Darth Maul and Boba. The same way, he was a mysterious character, had a little bit of screen time, died after the first movie, and then they're like, wait a second, people love this guy. We got to bring him back. Just like Boba Fett. We got to bring him back somehow.
Darth Maul is going to be the only reason for a solo sequel. And I don't know if that'll just turn into a series. They're talking about Crimson Dawn series, right?
Well, he's in Star Wars Rebels. He's in Clone Wars and all sorts,
Right.
You name it, he's in it. So they're trying to bring that character back. The same thing with Boba Fett. They're like, wow, people love this guy. We got to bring him back. And now they're pumping it full of, toys and comics, other episodes. So they're really
what's
smart.
Interesting about him as an actor or a stuntman, however he started, I mean, he's amazingly talented in being able to do those stunts and those fight scenes where, no offense to Jeremy Bullock, but I mean, he's standing in the background, right? Just kind of holding a rifle. Ray Park is a super talented guy in that sense. So I think he has a lot of fans for the talent that he has in that area.
Charles, what do you think of Ray Park and Darth Maul?
One thumb down.
I think, is he going to make an appearance in the Obi-Wan series? Darth Maul? Or is this after his death?
I think he survived the Sarlacc pit monster. Oh no, that was Boba Fett. He's probably not dead. He's probably still alive. They'll bring him back somehow.
Right. So he was cut in half, and all we know is at the end of Solo, he's running a crime syndicate that Kira's working for, and the other guy, who was the bad guy in that movie, was working for. So, I mean, he is enough. He is enough of a draw for them to do something else with the Solo storyline and the characters that were left at the end there. But I've heard of a Crimson Dawn series. I mean, I would assume instead of a movie, it's going to be something like that. But, Ray Park could come back, and I don't know how the hell Darth Maul survived that, but whatever they do, that would be interesting just to tie all that together.
Yeah, and there are a ton of those type of characters that have this mass appeal, and I guess it's just they had just enough screen time to keep the fans clamoring for more, and now's their opportunity to do that, especially with Boba Fett and the Mandalorian, and I know the thing that I liked about the Mandalorian, getting back on kind of the Boba Fett thing, was the fact that they showed so many of the tertiary characters in supporting roles in the series. Weequay had the cantina,
yeah,
all that kind of stuff. I thought it was pretty cool.
And they did it they did some things in thoughtful ways too, because people who are Empire fans, people like us who collected the toys, everybody loves IG-88. He's just a cool looking character, a cool figure, right? And so they did it in a thoughtful way. Rather than going back to that character, they had another droid that was the same model droid, right? In IG-11, and they had him in Mandalorian, and it was like, holy crap, all of a sudden, the guy is standing there, and for one scene for a half a second in Empire Strikes Back, but then you see what that droid actually, how it moves, what it can actually do in Mandalorian, and it's freaking insane. I mean, he's spinning around, his arms are going in every direction, he's mowing down people in 2 seconds. I mean, he was an awesome addition to that show. So it's
the most emotional robot destruction since the Terminator.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
Not to be negative. So, Boba Fett,
negative Nancy, the sourpuss,
Debbie Downer.
So Boba Fett flies, hits the skiff, goes into the Sarlacc pit. He's alive.
Yeah, the Sarlacc pit couldn't digest the metal of his armor and his rocket pack.
Yeah, couldn't digest the Beskar. Is that what it's called? The Beskar armor?
Yeah, the Beskar.
Oh.
But isn't it funny though? And maybe I was a kid, so I couldn't relate. Like to me, I think Charles and Brandon and Christopher are the same way. We didn't know Star Wars without Boba Fett. Boba Fett was always part of Star Wars. So John, earlier in the episode, you gave us a little bit of insight in, from your personal memory of hearing of the introduction of Boba Fett and the tease for the new movie, Star Wars 2, and what that meant, and this figure that was going to come out and what kind of excitement you remember and maybe your friends and whatnot. To us, like I grew up watching Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, and I remember when Jedi came out, but there was always Boba Fett just because I had both movies right off the bat.
Jane, are you saying that John is older than us? that he was there before it happened?
Significantly older. Significant.
Okay, not significant.
I don't know. My wife wants to know how old you are. She wants to know all about you guys, and I don't know all the answers. But I said he was there for the ones before me. But
John was actually there for Adam and Eve.
Yeah, my students think that 30 is old.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, my point was, I was just going to say real quick is that we didn't know, the four of us, we didn't know Star Wars without Boba Fett. But as much as people love the character Boba Fett, to me, I don't know if you guys agree, tell me, when he fell into the Sarlacc pit and died, like it didn't affect me at all. Like I liked the character, but the good guys won. Luke and Han won. Lando won. Chewie won. And
Lobot won. Prune Face won. We're
but I'm just saying, like, it was like, oh, Boba Fett's gone. Okay, let's move on, because the good guys won and they're going to escape now. So, like, I was not bothered by that. There's other characters that you really love that, when their demise comes, you feel bad.
Yeah, I can honestly say that when I saw that in the theater, I was 13. Okay, so that tells you how old I was.
All right.
How old I am. But I was 13 when I saw that in the theater, and I couldn't. It was a shock that they killed Boba Fett, but it wasn't like, I wasn't invested in Boba Fett, and I don't think there were many people invested in Boba Fett. I mean, he just has that aura, that appeal about him that makes him a bad guy and all that stuff. But yeah, when he died, when he got sucked into the Sarlacc pit, it was shocking because, you thought that here's this guy who he would at least show up later on in the movie, or
yeah. So do you think there was some kind of a divide where between 80 and 83, he was mostly a cool character, a cool figure, kids liked playing with the toy, and then that short 3 years was like, oh man, oh geez, Boba Fett's gone, okay. And then since 83 till now, the lore has just grown so much that now he's become this big character and focus for a lot of people, and just one of the coolest parts of Star Wars. But at the time, he was kind of just like, oh, he's a cool figure. Right? He's a fun one to play with.
Well, I think he was instantly iconic because of the the way that he was presented in the film, and definitely his appeal has grown over the years, for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
100 years.
Not 100.
Somebody just asked, how long is this episode? I said 100
years.
All right, guys. Well, we could start wrapping it up. I mean, we can only talk so much about Bo, but we could talk all day, but people are only going to watch for so long. But we are excited about the new show. All four of us are. Not Sour Nancy. What's his name? Sour Nancy?
Yeah, we're actually making Rogue 4 toys because we're 4 positive people, and Negative Nancy is going to have his own channel soon too.
Well, why can't we be Rogue 4 and Negative Nancy and the Rogue 4? All right. Well, again, I'm going to remind everybody to subscribe to the channel. Follow us at 5idiotstalkingtoys.com. And, check us out on the socials. And also you can trade with us at rogue5toys.com. All right. So join us over there for some more fun. We have a good time on a daily basis over there. And let's throw it back to you guys before we totally wrap this up. Anything else that you want to talk about Boba? You want to say about the new show? Anything you want to show that you didn't?
No, not really. All the pieces that I showed you tonight are my personal collection. They're not for sale, so I'm sure people are going to try and buy them, but I'm definitely not selling them, so they will not be on Rogue 5.
Brandon, what about your 12-inch? Are you holding your 12-inch, or are you?
I'm always holding my 12-inch. It's going back into the drawer.
All right,
both of my 12 inches.
But it's not folded though. Does it fit in the drawer?
Yes, that one does.
Okay, I know you said it wasn't folded before. John, I'm going to throw it over to you. Let's wrap this puppy up, and we'll thank everybody for watching this week.
All right, yeah, thanks everyone for joining us again, and looking forward to the. Of course, Charles isn't, but I think everybody's looking forward to the new Boba Fett series. And if anyone has anything, any collection that they want to show, be featured in one of our collectors corners, please let us know at 5idiotstalkingtoys.com. There's an announcement pin there. Just comment on that. And I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas, because this episode is going to be taking us into Christmas Day. So or the day after Christmas. When's Christmas this year? The Saturday?
It's usually the 25th, John.
I know it's the 25th. Okay, you got. Is it Saturday or Sunday? It's Sunday, isn't it?
It's a Saturday.
Saturday.
I think so.
It's Saturday.
It's Saturday. Okay, so
same with New Year's Day is a Saturday as well.
Yeah, so this will take us into the day after Christmas. I hope everybody had a great Christmas and they're enjoying the first episode of Boba Fett coming up the 29th, right? 29th of December.
We might have to do something Christmas related. We might have to do some sort of a holiday something or other. Maybe we'll just do it in the groups rather than an episode, but we'll have to think about that. Yeah. That'll be fun. Star Wars and Christmas kind of go hand in hand.
Definitely a lot of good memories from that. So maybe we could do a year-end wrap-up with something like that.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out, and we thank all the viewers for watching us. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're listening to us on Spotify, we appreciate it, but come on over and look at our faces and check out the collectibles that we share. It's fun to listen, but when Christopher puts up all those great collectibles, come on over and take a look at it on YouTube. All right, guys, have a good night.